Hi, my name is Linda Cirulli-Burton, and welcome to this channel named Above the Battleground, ACIM. Just the other day, when I was at my little Course in Miracles circle, my friend Brian shared with us that all of a sudden, out of the blue, a friend basically went after him and told him, I know you've always judged me, and blah, blah, blah. Well, Brian was flummoxed. He was perplexed. He was, wow, what is this? And so I thought, along with Brian, that we might take a little bit of a deep dive to try to understand what exactly went on. Above the Battleground is based on the teachings of a spiritual self-study path known as A Course in Miracles. I've been a student of A Course in Miracles for a very long time and recently made the decision to create these videos so that I could talk about these lessons and this inspiration with the idea that if I talked and shared, it would go deeper within me and maybe be of some benefit to you. Most spiritual paths reference dark and light. A Course in Miracles calls the dark wrong-minded. And of course, the light then becomes the right-minded. And so what I thought that I would do is, it's always great sometimes to review these words associated with the dark and the light, with the wrong mind and with the right mind. So the wrong-minded terminology, and I'm sharing from the glossary index for a Course in Miracles, and this is basically in the introduction. So here's some of the words. Attack or anger, body, crucifixion, death, defenses, denial, dream, ego, fear, guilt, hell, idol, illusion, judgment, projection, sacrifice, separation, sin, split, suffering and pain, temptation, time, uniqueness. The right-minded, some of the right-minded words are let me share some of these with you. Awakening, communication, extension, the face of Christ, forgiveness, grace, gratitude, the happy dream, healing, the holy instant, invulnerability, joining, joy, happiness, gladness, laughter, light, love, the memory of God, oneness, peace, prayer, resurrection, salvation, the Son of God, and vision. And so, of course, you end up smiling when you're reading the words from the right mind. So this dichotomy, one of the reasons why I absolutely adore A Course in Miracles is that it is so easy to be locked inside of the wrong mind, that knowing that there is a decision maker and we can make the path to the decision maker stronger and stronger and stronger with practice and application of the learning in A Course in Miracles, so that we can get to the course, get to the decision maker and make a different choice. So very quickly, I have to tell you, nothing has ever explained to me the concept of guilt that it would appear everyone in the world is running from. It's like, or running to, or always feeling guilt. I feel guilt for this and guilt for that. In fact, funny thing, right before I sat down to work on this presentation, I took Izzy, my pug, for a walk. What do you think I said to her? I said, look, I don't want to feel guilty because I'm tucking you behind me, and I'm not going to let you move for a while until I've got... So even with my dog, I have to express guilt. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that I have never in my lifetime ran across a better explanation for this ontological, universal feeling of guilt than the foundational myth of A Course in Miracles. And it goes something like this, okay? The Son of God existed with God the Father in perfect, beautiful union. And then a crazy idea at which the Son of God forgot to laugh went through the sonship, and basically, I think if I leave my Father, I can live a life of extreme power. I can be just like God. I will create. I will be unique and special, and all I got to do is leave. Okay? Now, I will remind you and me that A Course in Miracles said we never left, but we thought we did. We thought we did. So we break away. Then there was another split. And that split is what contained the wrong mind and the right mind. And just understanding how the wrong mind could have gone crazy, making itself different from God, but fundamentally hiding from God. Okay? So the wrong mind creates the brain, creates the body, creates my physical and psychological differences from that one or that one or that one. Okay, now I'm there. And now I'm in this world where it's, kill or be killed. If I have more, that means you have less. If you have more, I have less. You're taking what I want, what I need, because I am a mess inside of the ego mind, inside the wrong mind. And the fundamental emotion is guilt. And here I am, when I am locked in my wrong mind, all I want to do is get rid of the guilt. And by getting rid of the guilt, I will, at least for a little while, feel innocent and pure, because the guilt is on you. You are the guilty one. I am not. I watch this being played out everywhere. Everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's a politician. It doesn't matter if it's a baseball player, a football player, an entertainer. What happens is that I, Linda, you, we have all this guilt. And so we shovel it on top of our various victims out there. And this is exactly what happened to my friend Brian. Brian knew that he had never thought in those ways towards this particular man. And yet the man was projecting his guilt on top of Brian. And Brian, he couldn't take it on because it wasn't his stuff. And I thought, wow, that was something so fascinating. Of course, it's happened in everybody's life, where people are thinking you are a certain particular person, a certain particular way, and they're nailing you for it. They're nailing you for it. So I'm just going to tell you because it's kind of shocking. I was a big fan of Game of Thrones. Honestly, I was. And like everybody else, right up until the last season where, there was major disappointment. I do feel bad for the writers. I really do. But anyway, so the thing is that what A Course in Miracles will say is that depending on which mind you choose to be in is how things will play out. And I'm going to tell you right now that A Course in Miracles does not address behavior. It does not address the external world. It's all about what mind you choose to be in. So listen to this, because I'm telling you, this is killer. This is from chapter 19. And it says, remember, fear is of the wrong mind, the mind of ego. Fear's messengers are trained through terror, and they tremble when their master calls on them to serve him. For fear is merciless even to its friends. Its messengers steal guiltily away in hungry search of guilt, for they are kept cold and starving and made very vicious by their master, who allows them to feast only upon what they return to him. No little shred of guilt escapes their hungry eyes, and in their savage search for sin, they pounce on any living thing they see and carry it screaming to their master to be devoured. I mean, I'm telling you, Jesus is positively brilliant here, a true dramatist. Send not these savage messengers into the world to feast upon it and to prey upon reality, for they will bring you word of bones and skin and flesh. They have been taught to seek for the corruptible and to return with gorges filled with things decayed and rotted. To them, such things are beautiful because they seem to allay their savage pangs of hunger, for they are frantic with the pain of fear and would avert the punishment of him who sends them forth by offering him what they hold dear. So think about what has just been said here. Because the ontological fear, sin, the sin of taking from God, the guilt that I feel, the fear of punishment. But if I'm not guilty, if I put it on you, you are the one who must suffer. And I'm telling you that the descriptions in A Course in Miracles are just off the charts for what will come back. Now, the Holy Spirit, if instead I go into the right mind, I go into the mind of spirit. Here's a paragraph. The Holy Spirit has given you love's messengers to send instead of those you train through fear. They are as eager to return to you what they hold dear as are the others. If you send them forth, they will see only the blameless and the beautiful, the gentle and the kind. They will be as careful to let no little act of charity, no tiny expression of forgiveness, no little breath of love escape their notice, and they will return with all the happy things they found to share them lovingly with you. Be not afraid of them. They offer you salvation. Theirs are the messages of safety, for they see the world is kind. So this is so intriguing. The wrong mind, the dark mind. There is that supposition, if you will, that if I get rid of my guilt and I put it on you, I feel better. Well, maybe I don't feel that great, but you feel worse. Actually, I laughed out loud when I read that. You'll feel worse than I, so I'm still a winner, you know? But instead, projection, ideas leave not their source. So all you have to do is keep on projecting, because your feeling of feeling good about what you're doing, the guilt you're getting rid of, you're not. It's like a boomerang. Boom, boom. It just comes back, and then you have to do it again. You have to find somebody else to attack so that you can feel innocent. But, when you choose your right mind, when you choose the mind of light, all that mind does is extend love. And it fulfills, it comes back to you. What's so interesting is everything always comes back to you. So when we put our dark stuff out there, we will not feel good or better for long because it comes back. But when we put our love and light out there, there's so many ways that it comes back to you. It finds loveliness to come back to you. So, one of the neatest things that happened in the little Course in Miracles group was that Brian and the rest of us, when we could back away from what that man was saying to Brian, you could feel compassion for him because really it was his own stuff. And Brian couldn't take it on. And I think that that's a great observation. Can we have compassion when we watch people playing out their dark stuff, their guilt stuff, their fear stuff? Can we? And I suspect that with a great deal of practice of choosing our decision maker and going into the mind of light, that when I'm in the mind of light, I can look at attack and anger from the perception of someone is looking for love. Someone is looking for a release from fear. So anyway, it was kind of an interesting deep dive for me to watch what happened to my friend Brian and know that I'm doing that stuff all the time. Everybody's doing that stuff all the time. And pull it in, look at it, own it, and miracles can happen. So thank you for spending this time with me, and I look forward to being with you again. Thank you.